Alright guys, I'm going to show you how to make quinoa and oatmeal. So first up, quinoa, at least I'm going to get it started, and then we're going to make the oatmeal. So most people associate quinoa as a savory item, but you can actually make it as a sweet breakfast cereal like you would with oatmeal. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So we're just going to get it cooking first. So we need a cup of quinoa, and this is white quinoa. Quinoa actually comes in 3 different colors. There's red, black, and white. Doesn't matter which one you use. So I measured out a cup here, and now I'm just going to put it in my little strainer here. Some of it's coming out of the strainer. That's okay. Because what we want to do is actually give it a rinse. So I'm just going to put it over this bowl here. And basically you want to rinse it until the water runs clear. And I'm going to put it in my saucepan over here that already has 2 cups of water in it. There we go. I'm going to put a little bit of salt in it to flavor it. Just like a pinch. There we go. Alright, so we're going to bring that up to a boil, and then I'm going to cover it and let it simmer. And it takes about, I'm trying to remember now. Oh yeah, it doesn't take long at all actually. It takes about 15-20 minutes to cook. Okay, I wanted to show you the quinoa. It's about halfway there. As you can see, it's absorbed a lot of the water, but it's not there yet. It needs to absorb all of that water. And, wait, come back. Take a look. You gotta take a look at all these little, you see those little white curly thingies? That's actually exactly how, that's what happens when you cook quinoa. Okay, that's actually just like the grain is starting to like break apart, bust open, kind of like when popcorn busts open, you know, and it just kind of like goes out like that, you know. So the kind that I'm making here is basically apple cinnamon, but there's other variations that you can add, whatever you like, whatever you're fancy, but mine is basically apple cinnamon with some added ingredients. Perfect, so that's ready. Now, let's add our milk. So, we have our quinoa cooked here. All right, it made about 3 cups of quinoa after all was said and done. Okay, so now I'm gonna add some milk to it. I have some unsweetened vanilla almond milk here. And I'm gonna do a cup of that and a cup of regular milk. Why do I do that? Just cause I like, I happen to like regular milk better than I do almond milk, but I also like the flavor of the almond milk with the vanilla, so I just like to do just the mix of the two, basically. Okay, so we're gonna pour this in. There's 2 cups, and I'm gonna turn on the heat to about medium low. Let's start there. Medium low heat. Okay, let's give it a stir. Now cinnamon. We're gonna add a lot of cinnamon. This is the apple cinnamon quinoa. So I'm gonna add about anywhere from like half a tablespoon to a whole tablespoon. Okay, it's your preference. Okay, so now I'm gonna add the apples in as well because we want it just to cook together. And the apples. I'm gonna add some raisins. For this amount, let's see. A lot of times I eyeball stuff, but let me see what this looks like. I'm doing 1/3 of a cup. Yeah, I think it's good. Yep. So now they get all nice and plump and juicy. So we're gonna let this cook on low, medium low, for about, like I said, 15-20 minutes. And basically, again, you want the quinoa to absorb the milk and get nice and thick and creamy. So we're just gonna let that be. All right, guys, it's been simmering for about 15 minutes, and I did put the lid on. I put the lid on, and then I would just come back occasionally and just give it a stir just to make sure it didn't stick on the bottom, okay? Next up, let's add the vanilla now, okay? So I think I'm gonna add like a couple of teaspoons of vanilla, because again, it helps with the sugar, with adding less sugar than normal. So let's add some more ingredients. I have some walnuts here. So I'm gonna add for some crunch. So it's not just, you know, creamy, creamy, creamy. We wanna add some different textures to it. So I'm gonna do about a half a cup of walnuts. I don't want it too fine because I want nice big pieces of walnut in my quinoa here. And I'm just gonna pour this in. Oop, out of my nose. And then I'm also gonna add some of that organic coconut I was talking about earlier, unsweetened. All right, I'm gonna add that. All right, give that a mix. And you can see, I'm just gonna turn this off the heat. We don't really need it anymore. It's cooked. So, let's measure out a cup. About a cup. And pour it into our bowl. So I'm just gonna top it off with some more cinnamon. Because I told you, there's no such thing as use cinnamon. And that's it. Now, of course, this is just one variation. There are so many variations you can do with this quinoa. You can put fresh fruit in it, like any kind of berry that you want. I mean, it really is endless. You can even go chocolate route. You can put some dark chocolate in here. Dark chocolate and coconut would be really good. That'd be a really nice combo there. That's really good. Really, really good. Low sugar, high protein, high fiber. It's just perfect. Perfect, perfect breakfast.